And now, taped at the J Street Recorder Studios in beautiful downtown Sacramento, you've entered Sac Deep with Koskela.
Welcome to Sac Deep with Koskela. This is Chris. I am your host, and this is my podcast. Today I'm joined by two of my oldest and best friends in the world. Guy Jones, say hello.
Hello.
And P.W.
Hi.
You just wanted to go a little more Femi with that one,
That's
didn't
right,
you?
baby.
Okay. Gotcha.
Today we're going to discuss a lot about music in Sacramento, music that we've been involved in, music that we've been touched by. We're going to talk about art, we're going to talk about tattoos, we're going to talk about pretty much everything, food, whatever comes to mind, smell of each other's farts, I don't know, could happen. Anyway, I'm going to go anecdotal a little bit and tell the story about how I came to meet these guys. I was 14, I think, and I was hanging out with these two girls in my 8th grade class.
You were 14?
He was fucking hella young.
He was like fucking 7 feet tall at 14.
I know, he was big.
These two girls were they were very punk rock. They used to wear like spiky mohawks, and they had the black eyeliner. And one of them, Sano, she was tough, man. She was tough. She had the cut up tank tops and the safety pins and the whole 9 yards. And I was kind of doing the metal thing for a while, and then I got with these chicks, and they would pass me around their lyrics. And I was like, I'll come jam with you guys.
Oh, God.
I didn't realize that
I didn't know it was Sano, dude. That's funny.
It was Sano and Amy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Amy?
Yep.
So we
We used to date those chicks.
I know. That's what I'm getting to.
Oh, sorry.
So the very first day that I didn't even know you guys. The very first day, I don't think it was the first time I jammed with them. I think it was the second time. But they were just like, our boyfriends are going to come over and hang out in a couple hours, so let's jam and be gone, kind of thing. And so we're jamming, and we were actually recording on one of the boom boxes in the room and stuff, and making these little amateur demo tapes. And then you guys rolled up, and you guys had cars, and I was still on a bicycle at the time, so I think you guys were like 17 or something like that, maybe 18.
How much older are we? What are you right now?
I'm 46 going on 47.
Okay, so like 4 years older.
So yeah, 3.5 or so.
Yeah.
And you guys rolled up, and I remember getting like nervous and tense a little bit because I didn't know you, and I didn't know about my skills and how well I could play or not play.
He was the drummer back then.
I was the drummer.
You were the drummer, right.
And so we jammed like a couple songs while you guys came in, and then you started hanging out. We shook hands and everything. And then I remember you just like, there was a guitar in the room, and somehow, I don't even remember who had the amp or whatever, but you plugged in, and we started jamming on a song together. And I think we played Medusa by Anthrax. And you knew the whole riff, like you knew the whole everything. And so I was just trying to keep up with you. And we had that moment where it was just like, that was kind of cool. That was cool. But then like just the camaraderie that I could tell that you guys had, and then like actually giving a little bit of I don't even know what you call it, like acceptance or whatever, just like, because I'd always grown up with older guys and friends that were like I looked up to, and you guys were like the first ones that were genuinely seemed like cool, honest people. And I mean, honesty is a subjective word, but I just wanted to say that I'm always going to be grateful for that time, because it's led to a lifetime friendship that I've maintained with you guys, even though it's been sparse here and there. But, the band things have come and gone, but I'm glad to have you guys here today and be able to talk to you. And just, I struggled with what I was going to want to talk about, but let's just talk about origins, Are you both born, raised Sacramento guys?
Well, we're both kind of weird like that. I was born in the Philippines. Dad was in the Air Force, so a lot of people our age, you know.
Dude, if somebody even mentions they're from the Philippines, he has to tell them he was born there.
I get fucking excited.
Every time. I was born in the Philippines.
Yeah, motherfucker.
It's like, fuck, dude, we get it.
Anyways, okay,
Sorry.
now your rhetoric about me being excited about Filipino people.
I was born in West Virginia.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
that's it.
No, that's it. Actually, recently, and I won't get too much on this, but P.W. he was adopted, and he had one of those, what do you call it? Those little tests where your origins are or whatever.
Oh, like those
DNA test?
DNA's,
Oh, well, yeah, what are they? There's
something 21 or
Ancestry.
Yeah.
ancestry.
Freaky
yeah.
people that don't know where they're from, I believe it's called.
Right, right.
And so he's actually, his mom got it for him, which he wasn't really too interested over the years. He could really give a fuck. But then he found out he had a
Sisters.
bunch of family, which is a whole different, interesting subject all to itself.
All in West Virginia still?
Yeah.
No, they're in Delaware, but they're coming out to visit me.
But it turns out that nobody in his family lives past, like,
69.
yeah, like that type of thing.
So we're basically
You're counting down him.
counting them down?
Yeah. But he'll probably die of a maple bar overdose
No.
sooner than he will
No, I won't.
old age.
No.
So how did you make your way to Sacramento from the Philippines?
That was an airplane.
Well, okay. it wasn't a raft.
My mom was lived here. My mom and dad lived here, and yeah, I don't know. Everybody came back to go to college and shit like that. So that's kind of a boring story as far as that goes. And just been kind of here, you know, that type of thing.
So you got adopted out of West Virginia and came out here immediately?
Nah, my mom came out here 75 for work.
You guys were both born in what, 68 or 9?
70.
69. I'm the more mature, older one.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Grandpa.
You can't be a fucking grandpa if you're 1 year older. 1 year?
1 year.
1 year?
Is that a thing?
It is at my shop. Yes, we talk and we put everything else on everything. But you know what I wanted to talk about is talking about Chris and the band, which was funny because of the girls you were in. I didn't realize you were.
Whoa! That demo tape, the Bloodbath.
Yeah.
That's Sano and.
No.
Okay. Well.
Okay. Well,
That was my first band that I ever
Disillusion.
started in my life. Yeah.
Wow, how
And the
the
only
fuck
reason
did
I
that-
ever played drums in the first place is because all five of us that I was friends with, when we all got our interest in music, we all started playing guitar. And
oh, there's got to be a drummer.
there was like one guy that was better than me, but I was like second to the group of the five. But I realized that quickly all I wanted to do was play guitar to be in a band, and the band thing wasn't going to happen with 5 guitar players. So I said, I'm going to switch over to drums. There's this guy that lived up the street from me, Josh, I think his last name was Wood. He had a drum set that he was selling, and I think I borrowed it and never paid him, and just like kept it forever, and started my first band with my best guitar playing friend, who wasn't even better than me, but I was like, whatever, you know, it was like, just get something started.
Yeah, you can make some shit happen.
And that's how that started. It was
Well,
the disillusion phase.
It was funny throughout the years. There's that fucking lyric that you and I first heard that lyric. You fucking know because you're smiling.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Well, how did it go?
On your knees you bow.
No, you gotta say it like,
On your knees you bow.
living for tomorrow, I live now, never to escape my deadly wrath. Bloodbath. which is hilarious because
35 years ago.
yeah, and
God damn.
that's about the 5 things we remember from life from back
He's
then.
so stoked. We remember the lines on some shitty demo tape.
Well,
It was
and we
so
thought it was
shitty.
kind of cheesy back then.
was cheesy,
Honestly,
but awesome.
but I swear to fucking God, when you're drinking or whatever, and if you would say your name, that song, we would start singing that song like immediately.
It was just 2 of you on that demo tape?
Is there what?
It was just 2 of you?
Yeah.
You did the singing, though.
I did the singing and the drumming,
drums.
and I believe I played the bass on that.
So what the
And
fuck did you need anybody else for at that
just
point?
rudimentary. Well, I didn't even know you could do it that way back in those days. It was
Right.
still just very. I had a very ill-informed mind about how recording went and how playing in bands went, I didn't realize that you could actually like do all this stuff yourself and like go in and overdubs and this and that. I didn't understand that whole process at all. Like I was just such a green.
Well, it's
young man.
A deep process. Him and I have been recording a bunch of stuff on our own and trying to collaborate, but at the end of the day, it's kind of the opposite, where I like to do what I like to do and take the time I like to do it.
Control freak.
And he has learned to do the same thing.
Right.
His more because he was a fucking drug addict. Mine because I'm a perfectionist. So that.
Boy, his sounds good. Mine sounds shitty. I'm a perfectionist.
Let's
He's
go.
a drug addict.
Let's go back all the way. When did you guys first meet each other, and how did that go down?
You know, Chris, it's an interesting story.
The story sucks.
Story's awesome. So I was walking home. I went to San Juan High School, and I was walking home one day, and the street was what was the fucking street? Sayonara. And
Not too far from Sanamara.
yeah. And there's this big hill, and back in the 80s or whatever, the roads weren't that great or whatever. So there was a big old hill, and there was a bunch of gravel down at the end of the hill. So I'm pretty much walking down the bottom of the hill. I'm at the bottom, and I look up at the top of the hill, and there's these two kids coming down the hill.
How old are you at this point?
Oh, well,
Freshman.
15, 16.
Yeah, 14, 15, 16.
17, 18, 19, 20. And there's a kid on the handlebars, and there's a kid obviously riding the bike, and they're just fucking jamming down that. I don't think they realize how steep that, or what was it?
It was a fat kid.
Was it Lido?
It was Lido.
Lido. And
Fat kid on the handlebars.
fat kid on the handlebars. I thought there was no fat kid talk.
I can talk fat kid.
Okay, you can say fatty, I can't say fatty.
There you go.
What the fuck? And they're jamming down the hill, and then the front tire was a little
Fat kid on the handlebars.
That's soft.
So
Yeah.
basically, the fat kid make the tire in the front really soft and really flat. So by the time they fucking hit that gravel, you know what happened? Fatty fucking fell off the front like fucking Pete Rose, right? Just hands first, all up in the fucking gravel. Jumps up, starts blowing on his hands, and I go, safe!
First thing he ever said to me.
The first thing I ever said to him.
Oh, you were the kid on the handlebars?
He was the fat kid on the handlebars.
The fat kid on the
I thought he was
handlebars.
gonna say, "Oh, you were riding the bike."
Yeah.
Ran him
No.
over.
Yeah, that was the very first time we ever met.
Yeah, and it's a perfect metaphor for a relationship. Actually, always hurt. He's always talking shit.
Boy, you're just a victim, aren't you?
So you guys became fast friends?
We were pretty much inseparable after that.
I don't know how.
think.
Yeah, I don't know how that equated into a friendship.
Yeah, because he wasn't very happy with me at that particular moment, which is kind of funny.
It's kind of the
That
same as it is today.
is- right. It's kind of a metaphor for every day.
So the power struggle was established very early.
There ain't no power struggle.
We know what's up.
I got the power. He struggles.
Oh, please. Bullshit.
So when you were Guy, when you were growing up, like, was there a lot of music in your house? I mean, did you?
My parents weren't that into it. They had records around and stuff like that. Dad had some stuff that he collected from the Philippines. Back then you bought a 10-cent record in the Philippines.
Did your dad get one of those awesome reel-to-reel players?
Yeah,
from-
he recorded everything on that because you had about 3 plays on those records and they were dust.
Right.
Honestly, it was, we originally lived in South Sac, and one of my good friends back then, his dad was like this biker type. This kid just like loved Ted Nugent. He had a really cool fucking Fender bass, like the sunburst ones. And I was like, man, this is dope. And you listen to like Ted Nugent, and I don't know, back then it was kind of magical, like
Sure.
these guys fucking rock, and he's all man-child up there and shit. But I think that kind of got me jazzed on it. But then it was really the other stuff like AC/DC, Bon Scott with some tattoos, or Ozzy Osbourne. It's like this, for reason, tattoos and music and badassery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that kind of spoke to me.
What kind of experience did you have, P.W.? Was there a lot of music up when you were growing up?
Yeah. A lot of 8 tracks.
A lot of 8
A lot
tracks.
of Freddie Fender.
Yeah?
My mom liked Freddie Fender for some reason.
That would explain your love for soft rock.
Freddie Fender?
Yes.
Well, we'd listen to Grease, Freddie Fender. I remember the 8 tracks. Urban Cowboy, Grease, Freddie Fender. That's about it.
Yeah, my parents had something kind of like that. It was like Diana Ross, Kenny Rogers, and the Beatles.
Ooh, yeah, a lot of
Oh,
Willie
Beatles
Nelson.
and shit like that.
Big old Kenny Rogers.
But very chorus-driven music, I guess, if you want to say that. Until you got into rock, which is more...
Yeah, absolutely. So how does it go from being a kid and being into riding bikes and crashing like Pete Rose and doing all that to picking up an instrument? Where did that phase of your life begin?
I don't even know, that moment where you're like, I gotta get a guitar in my hands. I don't know. That's a magical time that I could barely remember those lyrics from your first song there. So I don't even know. It probably was 14 or something like that.
You don't have that like Golden Eagle moment where you just realize that you had a guitar in your hands and this is what I want to play, or you had a bass in your hands or whatever. Did you start with guitar?
I started with guitar. I kind of did what you did a little bit, where it was like I just wanted to be in there somewhere. You
never played in the school band or anything like that, playing the sax or the cello or the flute or anything like that?
No. I think I played trumpet in elementary school, but that didn't have nothing to do with rock and roll or anything like that. That was kind of like what they try to shove you into.
Yeah.
Like, here, learn some music. Which everybody should learn some music to kind of free their soul a little bit, I feel,
For sure.
People that don't have that creative outlet starve for that creative outlet.
Do you remember how you got your first guitar?
I must have saved some money or something like that. It was Klein Music. It was a blue off-brand Flying V. I thought it was the shit until I discovered that was a little gaudy for where I was going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where was your head at when you first started playing guitar?
I don't know, in the clouds. I don't know. I just wanted to be...
You didn't have any like definite genre that you were hardcore into?
Well, back then, the 80s, so who ruled back then would be, Ozzy, Black Sabbath, the Scorpions, shit like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Iron Maiden, I remember listening to Diary of the Madman and like on headphones and some sleepover at my friend's house, and just thinking how weird and not to be a total whatever, but like kind of magical and weird and mysterious. Like, is there another universe? That one guy that always fucking
Rookie move
lives the shit on
Lucky Buddha. No, I'm kidding. All right.
Keeps the phone on him all the time for the tattoo shop. He's a 24-hour guy.
So it wasn't like a flash of lightning for you? It was just something you just kind of slowly
gravitated
into?
It's kind of like collecting change. You just collected a little bit more, a little bit more until you got a whole pocket full of it. And then, I don't know. Maybe it was, I think it was desire just to play.
And did you guys know each other at the time when that happened?
No. That was in the old neighborhood. So that had to have been at 13 or 14 or something like that.
So, Pete, most people know that you are pretty much like known for your vocals and your stage presence and your prowess on stage.
What?
To me is legendary, and I think that you're one of the best frontmen I've ever seen in my life.
I agree.
But
I'll agree with that.
Did you gravitate to an instrument, or did you just?
Well, my parents got me guitar lessons at Northridge Music in the 4th grade, so I rejected it because they wanted me to do it, I guess. So I hated it.
They wanted you to do guitar?
Yeah. And I don't know, probably hanging out with this guy made me want to play music more.
Right now, with the towel over your head, you look like a medieval person that serves bread to somebody.
Well, I wish I could serve AC because it's hot as fuck in here.
I think they turned it up on purpose so they can see you melt.
No, they didn't.
So now, okay, so you never like naturally gravitated towards an instrument, but I know you play a lot of them now, right?
Yeah.
You can do pretty much guitar and bass and drums and figure it all out.
Let's be honest,
on your own,
Chris.
right?
Anybody can play bass. It's pretty much.
Well, he's a drum machine drummer.
Yeah. Well, you got to discredit it like that.
Well, it's just kind of it's kind of like a.
I play music. I play instruments as a tool. You know what I mean? Like I want to write songs. I just play enough to get me by. Yeah. I'm not a fucking showman like this guy.
I think his desire for just being in that mix overweighs any kind of other thing than that. If you want to talk about writing songs to truly
write songs. Funny how you
songs,
always refer it as overweighs.
Huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
What is it?
Yeah, if I was skinny, it'd be a different word.
Do I keep on saying that?
Yeah, every other
It's
word
always like
out
a
of your mouth.
a fatty thing.
Out of your mouth. I want to turn this off.
Sorry.
All right. So, at what point do you guys like connect the dots and like start trying to jam together or whatever? Is that
well, he's
right
always
away?
looked up to me.
Or did you jam with other people and you were off doing your own thing first? I mean, did
Neither.
it come together as a duo?
He was always in a band, and I was always, the dude getting the chicks and had all the money. I was that guy.
No, he wasn't. He was like, "Hey guys, can I hang out?"
Hey, I'm like the gay ass roadie wannabe guy. But all those guys.
Actually, you know what? There's always that dude that you have to have around just because they're overwhelmingly oversized personality.
Boy.
I think once I started playing, I was always in a band. I always had to be in a band. I think I've always been in that.
Well, that's always been the goal for me too.
Yeah,
so.
it's just fun. It just serves the soul. But I think after a while, he wanted a piece of that because he did see that I didn't get into it for girls, but as we all know, after a while, that becomes a huge factor. And
Even though we're playing music for dudes mostly, there are girls.
Well,
that
back when we were young,
around.
Girls actually came.
True. They were a little bit rough, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, we have some.
Never had any girl come.
We're not going to talk about your not girl coming problem. Have another beer.
Jesus. All right. So, what's the first band you guys did together?
That would have to be.
So he was supposed to be a singer for After Dark Club. It was supposed to be one of our first gigs with him at the Cattle Club way back when. Jerry Berry's Cattle Club.
Right.
And he fucking flaked, didn't show up for the gig like a fucking dick. Were we on drugs or something? What were you doing?
Probably.
Okay, so he's probably tweaking, doing his usual disappearing act. Kind of like when we were in a band with Don, and we'd be like, "Hey, okay," like middle of the practice, poof, he's gone. He's like a fucking magician.
Are you talking about me in that situation?
No.
Oh, it sounded like you're talking about him.
No.
Oh,
Did you do that before?
No.
Okay, well then why are you guilty?
I don't know. Just
I don't
on
know.
the
You look
spot
pretty
all of a
fucking
sudden.
guilty, right? Yeah, I know.
You're so backwards.
So I ended up actually. No, I'm all over the place. You have a problem with that?
Yeah, the one I didn't show up to was when we were in Otis, and it was at the old Ironsides, I think.
No. First of all, Otis was after the After Dark.
Yes.
So, really?
I don't remember flaking on an After Dark gig.
Yeah, because you're like, I can't be in front of people.
You did?
Yeah, you're being a little bitch.
Yeah, but you just made me look fucking autistic or something.
I'm not making you look autistic. No, well. First of all, autistic kids do not do that.
I don't know. I'm very
That's somebody that
comfortable
has
talking about
palsy or
this.
something. So, anyways, he flaked. I ended up having to sing in the gig, and I actually we had practiced with us ruthlessly up until that point. And then
you guys got some headway with that band, right?
Yeah. Well, it was a long-term band. That was the band that really made us over the top trying to get girls with music or whatever. That's when we met Danny and Greg and all those other guys. But Greg was great at getting girls. Greg dated this really pretty girl named Christy. So actually, he did have a very good-looking girlfriend, even though he looked
Greg Scully?
No, Greg Johnson.
Oh, Johnson.
Yeah. And then there was Danny, bless his soul. And Danny was the man-child. He just was did you ever know Danny? Danny McLaughlin?
Yeah.
Super town guy, super cool. All the dudes thought he was... And he really was the coolest guy.
I've only had maybe one or two encounters with him, but yeah, I agree.
Well, I spent a lot of drunken Cattle Club time with him and the bar fights and all that kind of stuff. A lot of fights when Danny was around. Not because he liked to fight, but everybody wanted to fight him because all their girlfriends wanted to...
I got you.
Right, so naturally they all wanted to kill him.
They kill him.
Yeah. But he was after that, and I think we finally got him on stage.
So how long did you get? Did you eventually get on stage with After Dark Club? You did some shows.
Yeah, we did demos. We did a demo.
So we did a bunch of music.
We got nominated for Sammy.
You did.
Did we?
Yeah. Don't you remember we went to the event?
Oh yeah.
I think Kai Colin won it.
I actually won a Sammy in the '90s, and I didn't even know we were nominated, and I didn't even go to the.
It's the best way to win it.
Yeah, right.
I had no idea. No one even told me.
It
It was pre-social networking.
But soon after that band imploded. It was kind of Spinal Tappy because we had 8,000 drummers.
Was Rob Monroe in that band?
Yes. Yeah. Rob was great when he played because he would always lose his stick at one time or another, but not like a normal drummer that would lose his stick and it would fly away and he'd grab another one. He would chase it around the drum set and he would go, "Oh my God!" I'm like, you know, like that type of thing.
Speak about him for a second, because I know he was one of your best friends and really important to a lot of things you were doing.
Rob Monroe, original punk guy, just salt of the earth. Could shift into sassy black lady at any given time kind of thing. Just saw him the other day, kind of made an appearance. It was on his birthday. His birthday was July 4th. But only punk rock kid I ever knew that Rush was his favorite band.
No shit.
Yeah, he's just kind of a drummer's drummer, that type of thing. And he would get fucking Rob. We would party, and back then he had a real big drinking game. We would have to actually pull him out of houses like a wet cat out of the bathtub, and he would scream, "There's more alcohol! I'm not going!" You know, that type of thing.
Right.
But he was the kind of guy, like, all of a sudden, maybe 11:30 or 12, you hear this. It was him in whoever's kitchen had taken out all their mother's pots and pans, and got a couple of fucking spoons, and was in there just hammered and making rhythms in there. Like
doing a percussion clinic.
It sounded like an African beat class in there, you know?
So I remember After Dark played at our warehouse party one time.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the olden days.
Those huge warehouse parties.
South Sunrise. Yeah, we had a giant warehouse. It was like 6,000 square feet or something like that. It was
I remember
nuts.
that.
And you guys played, and it was, I think that was the only one that we didn't play with the rest of the bands that played. We just like threw it as a thing, because I don't even know why we didn't play it. But I remember seeing you guys that night, and the place was packed. I mean, we went through like 20-something kegs of beer that night.
Yeah, that was a big place.
With one restroom.
Yeah.
And those were like the golden years of stuff. But then ADC, for some reason or another, you guys were like at the height of your popularity, and then all of a sudden that band doesn't exist anymore, and other things start sprouting up. What sprouted up like after that?
So that was when Otis sprouted up. That's me right there. I get something good going, and it's all just flavor-tastic, and then it just totally implodes.
Diesel. You were in Diesel.
I was.
Diesel.
Mm-hmm. At that time.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So we started a band called Otis with a bunch of his songs that he'd been writing, because he was real big in the 4-track stuff, and we took a lot of 4-track stuff.
I remember it vividly.
Transposed it.
Got Kalani.
Yeah, Kalani Stone, a Hawaiian guitar god. Really great guitar player.
Yeah, there's pictures of him in Don's garage playing through all my shit.
Yeah. Was that your shit?
Yes.
I remember there was band shit there already.
Yeah. Well, because Kalani didn't have no shit, so somebody had to fucking bring some amps equipment.
The Otis development actually undercut the Fat Sack development, because if you remember when we were doing the Fat Sack thing, after we got to the end of the mix down process, I was just like, okay, sounds great, I'm out. And then Don stayed. I don't know if you stayed, but Don stayed later with Joe and did a complete remix of everything, and then dropped it off on my porch the next day. Okay, and to me it sounded like garbage, and I was just like,
and you quit.
I can't believe you did that.
I don't remember how we.
And I just said F you.
Imploded like that.
Yeah.
So it was your.
But then like the next week, Otis is up and going like instantly.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, you know,
this isn't comfortable.
It's like finding out your girlfriend is pregnant with a baby, and you're like going, we haven't fucked in like 4 months. You know? How are you pregnant?
Really, it did happen. I don't remember why. Why we stopped jamming, because it was kind of a cool thing right there.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was having fun with you and him as a power trio, and you and I trading off lyrics and writing stuff. Even though, you know, it's not like, to listen to it today would probably sound dated and a little bit like.
Well, but you guys still use a couple of those riffs.
For sure,
MDSO,
for sure.
So those were actually good riffs.
They were good riffs, and when it comes to like riffs, there's a lot of stuff that I'm proud of. As far as like songs, maybe not so much, because the vision kind of went a little one way or another that I just didn't like see coming. But the stuff that we were doing, like the Fat Sack time, that was a really fun time. And but with the whole dropping off of the final press of the demo, and this is the demo coming out, and it was just so drums, just like
what Don wanted
on
to be
10.
all about him.
Yeah, and it was like,
oh my, I just won't sit here and listen to it.
And I just couldn't.
Would you say, Chris?
What did I say? What?
Honestly, would you say that started your guys' tumultuous relationship with each other?
Not at all.
Was that your first breakup with Don?
Well, that was my first hard one. Yeah.
No,
That was
wasn't the 17
that was
soft breakups.
That was the first fuck you one. That was,
Fuck you, Don! Piece of shit!
There was a couple moments where it was just like, you know how it is with bands.
You can talk openly. We're all friends.
It's not about me. I'm here with you guys. Let's talk about you guys.
It is about you. It's Sac Deep with Koskela.
Yeah.
You know how many times I have to tell people how to pronounce your name?
You know how
I should get paid for it.
I should
I should get fucking paid for it.
I should read the rules again of the podcast.
You said there was no rules. Did you not say that when we got here?
You didn't listen to the first podcast.
It was Outback's.
Don't talk about Don? Is there something to not talk about Don rule?
No, it says right here.
Thou shalt not.
This is not about me ever. That's the bylines.
First of all, you told us...
We have a rule book. It says it's the opposite.
Yeah, we said the rule book says, fuck your rules. Anyways, let's talk about Don more.
Sure, go ahead. Tell me your Don
Soft
stories.
breakup. The first hard breakup was Fat Sack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you guys have an argument?
What was your experience working with Don?
Strangely enough, I've had a very
He's going to get way too much satisfaction out of this.
Oh, I know. He's probably jerking off right now. Yeah. Oh, my God. Do you say my name again? Oh, my God. I've always had a weird tolerance for Don. So, and we just talked about this on my birthday when he came out.
And you?
He fucking hated Don every fucking second.
He was so... sorry, Don, but he was so cocky and fucking, just like... Had that fine-ass girlfriend, fucking selling weed, fucking... Just, he was the man. I was like... He was cocky on top of it. You know what I mean?
So he wasn't even cool about it, was he?
Wasn't even cool about it. But you know what? I mean, he kind of took me in, right?
For when?
For band-wise.
For Otis.
For Otis.
But am I right that you were largely dissatisfied by the way he sped everything up for you?
A little bit. And I didn't like his little piccolo snare.
How many years ago was that?
Fuck.
25.
We did this recording with Joe Johnson at Puss Cavern, and P.W. still to this day, he doesn't give a fuck about anything except for that fucking piccolo snare.
Tink, 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 tink.
It was the 90s, so everybody was rocking a piccolo, even though Don should have been a little bit more progressive than that.
I like a rap. Tink.
But I personally felt that Don was instrumental in taking some of those songs that were really good, that were slower, and Kiddo, our buddy Mike, actually, it was the polar opposite. So the first Otis, everything was really slow and kind of dark.
After Dark Club.
But we were Otis for 5 seconds.
We were?
Yeah, because you wrote Depression Session. And
oh.
How do I remember this stuff and you don't?
I don't know.
You can remember every girl that I had sex with?
Or every lyric?
I remember all the band things.
Wrote?
Yes.
I do remember getting the Otis tape, though, and being very impressed by it. I thought that, okay, well, if you're going to stab me in the back like that, then at least you're doing something positive with your life.
He was writing some good shit, and I thought he wrote better shit than I ever could at that point, not to give you a compliment.
I still do.
Now it's opposite. He writes like,
give me a break.
And I'm like hella deep and shit.
No.
But, Don was a necessary ingredient in that where he did make it really badass, and, he just reminded me the other day that in a very short time, we got on like some videos. We did a bunch of really cool shows.
Thrasher video.
Yeah, we accomplished a lot in a short time. But then again, you have the imploding thing, so it should be called Two Tall Guys and Two Tweakers or something like that. So he was tweaking and Kalani was tweaking.
Right.
And so the both of them, if we find a glass light bulb, we were like, Kalani, what the fuck is this?
Two. What did you call you and Don? Two tall guys?
I don't know.
He's always like... No. He's always this nice thing. And I'm the tweaker.
Well, you're not a tweaker?
Yeah, but you're not a dick. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like you always put yourself as like, I was the good one and he was the bad one.
All right, having been a guy that kind of traveled down a dark path in my own time, what was that time like for you? I mean, like what?
Fun. Badass. Awesome.
He had a fucking legion of like little tweaker people.
Oh, dude, I was
like,
the king.
Yeah.
King of dead flies.
King Slummy.
I had no regrets, really. I mean, I didn't go to prison. I'm not dead.
Yeah. Got a couple teeth falling out in the back.
And you were just basically holed up at the base camp doing like a lot of demos on your own, right?
anywhere.
So
I'll be in a closet. And
so we lived together over off of Fair Oaks, and I would come home. I worked because that's what I did. And I would come home and I would look in his room, and he would literally be hunched over a 4-track. And this was every day, 24 hours a day, unless he raided the refrigerator and made a big mess. Ice cold in the house, and I'd look over and I'd be like, "Hey man, you've been there for a while," and he'd just be dripping with sweat,
like now,
and he'd just go, like a fucking
boy. I'd love to
savage.
see the world through his eyes.
Were you not like that?
I don't remember going.
Bloodbath.
Have you ever had a 4-track
Yes.
4-track?
with a drum machine?
No. Actually,
It's
I
magical.
had one at a time, and I couldn't figure it out.
It's very complicated.
And I'm like one of those guys that once technology starts frustrating me, I punch it.
Yeah, that's
this
me.
guy, that's me.
That's why I make him do all the drum
Why can't
stuff.
we just do this easier with where you actually play
But
and
dude,
I play?
when you figure out you can make full-on music by yourself in a fucking garage, it's awesome, dude. I don't need him. I don't need him. I don't need him.
No.
Do everything.
So those recent songs you sent me, was that you just
Yeah, that was
doing
just
the
in my
same thing?
bedroom. Yeah, minus the
were you
left.
were you playing the guitar though, or was
Yeah.
that okay? So you're doing the guitar and then you're programming the drums, and are you playing bass? Or you just programming the bass too?
Program the bass too.
Wow.
Guy doesn't like the programming bass.
It sounds fake.
It sounds awesome.
It sounds like
You know why? Because he's got like $1,000 basses, so everything he wants to put his bass on it. He wants to put his stank on everything.
okay. I got one bass.
How much is it?
I don't fucking know. My parents bought it for my birthday.
Is that the Fender one?
It was funny because I was going to culinary school, and that was my graduation present was a bass. I know it doesn't make much sense, but that kind of tells you. Like at one point, my mother went like, "So maybe you should get like a real job instead of like pretending like you could be a rock star," you know. And I'm like, "Huh, that kind of makes some sense."
Let's hit on that. So that's when you joined Leader Wolf
Yeah.
Chef School?
Leader Wolf Chef School, which led to a multi-year, franchised distribution of your talents in the cooking industry.
Is that what we're gonna call it?
His years don't add up, Chris.
Oh, let's not get into that, please.
He was a chef for 25 years. He's been tattooing for 15. That's 40 years. Motherfucker's 50.
I started when I was 10.
Right?
I started cooking when I was 10. If you want to technically, I did start when I was 10. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Everybody puts a little 5 years on something.
I don't.
You know? I don't remember. It was a long time. It was the most of my younger life was.
That was when I met you, or not met you, but that was when we were doing the bulk of our hanging out back in the music days.
Yeah.
You were chefing at some steakhouse, right?
Always steakhouses, yeah. I hated doing all that. Ooh. It was just to make money, and I hate it. I didn't ever like it. And everybody that I ever come across that works in a restaurant,
They're miserable.
Yeah.
They stay up late. They're their own people. It's weird.
It's their own culture.
Not a fan. People got to eat, but I don't got to be making the food for them. So I'm just happy as a pig in shit doing what I'm doing right now.
Happy to walk away with the culinary skills you have and move on to
it's good
music.
for friends and family. That's just
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. That's about all it's good for at this point.
All right, so I feel like we skipped over something, but after Otis, what happened?
Well, like I said,
How did Otis come to an end?
I don't want to talk about. I don't want to make P.W.
Would you like to be the statesman on
Why
this
don't you-
one?
why don't you
Peter,
tell?
Why don't you tell
Well,
me
Guy
about
had a tizzy fit one day, like a little female.
That's a lie.
I don't remember.
all based
Me
in
and
lies.
it's being on drugs, you know. Shit becomes unimportant. Shit
can't-
becomes more important. So me and Kalani kind of
You can't have a
fucked
band
off Otis.
if people don't fucking show up. So there's a point, kids, stay off drugs, that they cared more about dope than they did jamming. And
It's addiction. It's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for most people.
Not for him. He was happy.
Not for me, but
Happy addiction.
you know.
So how far did you go down the wormhole?
I don't know what that means.
Really? You don't know what that means?
What wormhole?
The
Drugs?
speed wormhole.
Oh fuck! Meth labs in my house. Fucking all kinds of shit.
Shotguns, bikers, weird.
Yeah, I had to move to Minnesota.
So
I left a house with lab in it to go to Minnesota. My house that I was living in with some people. And then luckily they got raided after I left and went to prison. And then I came back and,
living a good life ever since.
No, it's Sacramento, dude. It's like...
Have you been pulled back into that wormhole?
Dope?
Yeah, since
2004. It's the last time I did crank. How long ago was that? 15 years?
Sounds about right.
I've done coke a couple times at a party when I'm hammered. Taking a couple pills. Me and Guy are really into ecstasy right now. And other than that, I was drinking a lot too, like recently.
Dude,
but
first
I
of all,
quit.
nobody takes fucking ecstasy anymore.
I don't know what it's called.
They take Molly, player.
Oh, MXD34. Doesn't it have initials?
Is that your new band?
Yeah, that's actually our new band. It's called,
So that's it.
Called Molly.
Molly's MDEX 3-4.
Yeah. I think what's the thing that got you sober is interesting to me, and I think that's a lot of what people get sober for is you had a baby.
I had a baby. I was tow truck driving, so I was never home, dude. I'd leave my wife at home with the baby for days on end.
You're still married?
Yeah. And then one day I came home and there's a note on my keyboard. It said, "Hey, we're out of here, dude. You never come home. What the fuck's wrong with you?" And I was like, fuck. Nobody wants to be that guy.
Yeah.
Lose their family to dope. So I went to rehab and, that's that.
But now, mind you, we had not talked for, we're going to say 10 years, right?
Yeah, we'll go with 10.
You guys went with the 10-year hiatus of not speaking?
So when Otis imploded, I mean, that's when he stepped into the wormhole. If you want
I started
to call it that.
selling drugs and...
There was only one time I was drunk one night and I fucking found out where he lived and I went through
window.
I went through his window.
I forgot about that.
He was sleeping and I tackled him drunk.
On Castle Street.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But then,
I remember this story very well.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I don't. It's funny.
I went through the window, I fucking grabbed him, I told him I loved him, and I was all kind of hammered, and that didn't do much for the whole thing.
I don't remember that.
But I couldn't bear to watch him do that, to be honest with you. Because, I've had a lot of love for him over the years.
So this was a soul brother saving mission.
Yeah, but it didn't matter.
In a drunk state of mind.
It didn't matter, because he was all about his minions and his drugs.
Let's just... When people are on drugs, they don't care about shit. Not just me.
Okay, well, we're talking about you, not the people.
No, we're talking about the people.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean,
so it was about 10 years, and
so the brotherly hug through the window didn't do you any good.
Oh fuck no! No, come on. That's like Nancy Reagan saying, "Just say no."
So what was the breaking point?
For what?
No, it was the baby.
It was?
Yeah.
That just snapped you into
no,
reality.
I don't want to be that, Where's your kid and wife?
But it was hard to get back into his world because I always see his mom at like Mongolian barbecue. Hey! And, but like, oh, I don't know if Eric wants to see you.
She got his number once. Then I was hammered once and I called him. He was working out at a NorCal tattoo shop and I drove out there. And we were inseparable ever since. It was like nothing, dude. Picked it right back up.
So every Saturday he would show up and he would drink as much malt liquor as he possibly could.
Dude, and they would condone it. They would say, "See you next Saturday." I would be like, "Oh, I fucked up this time." No.
You guys gonna have me back? I'm like, it's pretty entertaining.
They loved it. Him and Cisco.
Yeah.
That's the allure.
I mean, it got a little ridiculous when
I was house DJ for a while, so I know the feeling.
That was a very strange place, and yes, you were the house DJ.
That's the sad I've heard that.
Sad thing about you living so far that before you were around the corner, it's like, which is kind of weird because he would just literally walk into the room, be the DJ, not even talk to fucking much anybody, crack a beer, start playing funk music. It was always funk music.
Always.
He'd sing
with a lot of falsetto.
And singing falsetto, and then you'd be like, "Oh shit, Lisa wants me home. I gotta get out of here." That type of thing. You got about hour window to pound a couple of beers.
It was just whatever I could get in.
Right.
It was just like spin a few and sing some falsetto and put some smiles on some faces and get out of there.
Which I wanted to bring up is the fact that I am so glad that you don't smoke weed anymore.
Yeah, why?
Why?
Because you...
Oh, because I would kill the whole entire bowl.
You would...
Oh, he was talking about this yesterday,
you could fucking
Chris.
smoke a joint in one fucking...
Him and Cisco were talking shit.
You would fucking wait.
I would waylay.
Hey man, I got this great weed. I only got one bowl, but
I would waylay it.
Let's smoke it. And hey, Chris, you want to have a hit? And they would be fucking gone. You're like, thanks, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this, coal now?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that I was doing that
Yeah.
for a long time until you started mentioning it.
Oh, yeah, I was getting a little pissed there for a while.
He's
I
good
was
at
like-
pointing shit out.
You always seem to be rolling in weed, so I was like, I don't.
That doesn't matter, Chris.
I'm
That's
sorry,
not the point.
but, you know. Apologies.
Sometimes you can roll
Apologies
it.
come a little too late at varying stages of our
Sometimes
lives.
you can roll in weed, but then sometimes you don't.
I haven't smoked any weed in 7 years.
How's that going for you?
It's fine.
I have to. I'd kill this motherfucker. Let me tell you. What he does to me mentally, abusive.
Boy, you know what? I'm like a butler to this guy. He asked me to dry his balls the other day. He's like combing his hair. He just got out of the shower.
Does he
Does
call you Benson yet?
No, he calls me Winthorpe. Winthorpe? I figured, dude, he must have saved my life in a past life or something. Because I'm way too nice to this fag. Hey, what's that guy's name from, is it Lance Bass? No, what's the guy's name? No, the chubby guy with the beard from NSYNC, or no, Joey Fatone.
Joey Fat One.
That's who that looks like, with a wig on.
Oh, like I say,
Let's go easy on our sponsor.
Sorry, he looked like somebody. I was like, fuck, who is that?
that does not look like. Well, maybe it does.
It does,
Yeah,
but that's
I thought you were
okay.
talking about yourself though.
Like, I wish, man.
Joey Fat One.
All right, reel it back in.
Yeah, really back in.
So-
Come on.
Off track.
Otis bails, obviously, for.
We've been Otis for a while now.
We'll blame it. We'll blame it on me.
I actually one of my dogs was named Otis for a
I
while
remember that.
until he
That was
started.
your dude.
He started beating the shit out of Ozzy, and then it was time to go Otis.
Yeah.
But he's actually, I get reports on him because my brother-in-law adopted him out, and he guards a very large pot farm, and he's very good at it. So
So he's in his place.
he's in his place.
This is his own.
He's doing his thing, keeping people scared.
This
Since
guy's talking about not getting off track, and he's just.
I don't even know.
so after, okay, fucker. After
Now we're getting the real juicy juice.
so okay, so you're down the wormhole. Guys climbing through your window, hugging you in your sleep, telling you, "Come back to Jesus, come back to me, and I'm gonna twist your head off if you don't." How long? Then you get the awakening of having a baby on the way, right?
No, baby was here.
Baby was already here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was a stretch, right?
What do you mean?
A time. So the window incident, and then he went on.
Oh, God, that was
And then
like
he went on the tweaker thing for about a decade.
7 years, 8 years between that and that.
Met up with homegirl, had a baby. And,
Did you do anything musically during that time? That's
Yeah.
noteworthy. You play out, or was it?
I wrote
just
all those songs that we played Notice in my tweaker days.
But once
Okay,
he was
but that was-
out, once that 10 years though, you had amassed a lot of.
A lot of songs.
A lot of
80
songs.
songs.
Yeah.
Maybe 100.
Yeah.
They're all on YouTube. Check it out. Beatup.com. I'm kidding.
Boy, we better get that .com up quick, don't we?
Okay, so then how does it all turn around? Like, so okay, you actually had to look at your child in the eye before you realized that you needed to stop what you were doing. Is that
Yeah,
accurate?
I mean, it was her leaving that kind of like, them leaving that kind of like slapped me in the face. You know.
Was she into the life with you? The girl?
Yeah, a little bit.
Your
little
woman?
bit. She went to rehab too. Took the kid.
You went to rehab?
She did, and then I did too. I had to wait though, so there was a good month there between when she left me and when I went to rehab that I was just off the hook.
I mean, you've been pretty solid since then, besides the occasional drunken tirades. We haven't got shit-faced in a long time because the last time we did, we got so shit-faced we were fucking hungover for 3 days, and I got this harebrained idea to fucking go to a bar with an old tattoo artist buddy that I knew. And, you know, the worst fucking case scenario is when you go to a bar where you know the bartender. Because
With
they're
me.
always bringing up with him. Because he'll go, well, we started off that night by him telling this other bartender, another bar, that he was the shittiest Long Island cocktail maker in the world. This guy almost
It was
cried.
too fucking sweet, dude. It
So
was
he
like,
had to prove his point by giving you like 10 more and varying degrees of alcoholism?
no, he was kind of a dick after that.
No, he was not very happy with him. We went to the bar down the street, Sammy's bar at, what's that little bar?
The donkey.
Yeah, the Boxing Donkey. Go see Sammy at the Boxing
The
Donkey.
Roseville?
Yeah, but he's the coolest guy in the world. He's fucking bringing out trays of shots and blah, 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 blah. So by the time we were at the end of the night, P.W. was hanging onto the wall and just begging me to go home.
Probably one of the drunkest I've ever.
Yeah, and the mistake was that we Ubered there and Ubered home, and we should never have that kind of green light, the two of us. But that is
to
literally
know
the
that
last.
you got your backs covered when you're in a bar. You got to ride home no matter what.
Yeah.
Just kind of makes things more empowering for
Well, green light. There's
Yeah.
that green light.
A dude was licking my head
Yeah, I almost had to.
and then
beat somebody
slapped me.
Yeah.
It was fucking weird shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a whole nother
Then I went
story.
home and dropped a freaking lasagna tray and shattered in the kitchen everywhere. And I'm like, Megan, help me, please. Please
His
just help
wife
me.
found him basically bloody,
Yeah, I was
drunk
bleeding
and
on
bloody
my
in the
feet.
kitchen.
Bloody and covered in lasagna.
Yeah. Help me, Meg, please. Don't bitch me.
And then get me a pizza.
Just help me.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll drink again someday.
Okay, so how does it eventually okay, so you're leaving music, Guy. Not leaving, but you're like finding another passion. You're like, you've always been a great illustrator. You've always been, fond of art, good painter. How do you get into the whole tattooing industry? I mean, I know
Right.
I know Kenji was like a good mentor for you, right?
Strangely enough, not in the classical sense. So when we were teenagers or late teens, we fucking lived at this guy's shop all the time. So much that he would start giving us, bitch outs for, I can't start giving you assholes all these cheap ass tattoos, all 5 seconds and shit like that. So it was very inspiring. I think we both wanted a tattoo. I thought that P.W would be the tattoo artist out of the two of us, to be honest with you.
Really?
He has always had a good concept for figures and shapes and been really creative. But he had a bad accident when he was 18 and kind of messed up his drawing hand. And for me, I fucking hated being a chef. I always wanted to be a tattoo artist, but I felt because of people like him that I just didn't have the chops to do that. And for me, ultimately, it was sitting down with my buddy Dave Ronzoni. He's a comic book artist. And I said, man, you're so good at drawing that hand. He's like, fuck no, I had to draw this motherfucker 1,200 times. I was like, but then I had one of those dumb Malibu's Most Wanted moments where I was like, you mean all you got to do is put in hard work and you can accomplish anything? In that case scenario, Ronnie Grizzard, the rat, told him, no, he couldn't because his rhymes were tired. But I just kind of hit it hard, very, very hard. Was grinding quite a bit. Kenji was very helpful to me for sure. But in the middle of me tattooing and learning and tattooing, Kenji got cancer. So he was, he's actually on his third bout of cancer at this point. And so he was kind of down and out, and his shop was being run by a couple other fellows. But the good news is that we just went up to Oregon and hung out with him, mostly P.W. and his boxers out in the woods.
I saw that trip. That was those pictures were epic.
Kenji says, make yourself comfortable. This motherfucker's pants just flew off. He walked around in his boxers. with
We were in the mountain. I mean,
Mountain Dub.
it made him comfortable.
Who
that I
cares
was
if a
that
bear sees
comfortable.
my dick?
Right.
Yeah, no, they don't.
He was like Jabba the Hutt
I
inside
thought-
the RV the whole time. Wouldn't fucking move. Roll, 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 roll.
It always comes back to fat.
Yeah, it does.
No,
You know why?
You called yourself Jabba the Hutt.
Whoa! It's the easiest attack. You don't need no brains to make fun of somebody.
Oh, you sounding real intelligent right now.
Well, I'm just saying. I
Oh,
don't
you're
make
a
fun
mental.
of
You're
people's
a mental
looks.
brother. I get it. Right. You know what that means?
A mental brother?
No, that means he's gonna shut the fuck up. So yeah, I know. I just pretty much grinded and I just tried to paint and tattoo and.
When did you have the courage and balls that it takes to actually put ink on somebody else's body?
My first tattoo was done on me. I think everybody that tattoos should do their first tattoo on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
My personal thing. And back then the internet wasn't up, and it was like I got some stuff out of a catalog from one of this big conventions when they did have some really good conventions back then, and started doing it the wrong way in my house, no instruction.
He's lying, Chris. The first tattoo we did on each other.
No. What are you talking about?
You did this tattoo on my leg. We were sitting on a couch, passing the gun back and forth, sharing the needle, tattooing each other right in the legs.
That never happened.
And here's a little credit to the tweaker shit.
No, here we go.
I wake him up one time. He's got to go to work, dude. And I got the house full of just tweakers, dude. But there's this chick with this big rack. And she wants a tattoo on her titty. You remember that? And I'm like,
I still don't remember the story whatsoever.
what? And I wake him up because I feel guilty because we're partying and he's got to go to work. I'm like,
Guilt.
this chick wants a tattoo on her titty, dude. I want you to do it. You do it.
I don't remember that.
Oh shit!
I don't remember that at all.
You have no recall.
Wow, why does he
tweak her titty chick?
I just don't. I don't remember that. I remember a lot of things, but I don't remember that.
He doesn't want to remember that for some reason. That's the
Why?
question.
Why would I not want to remember that?
That's what I'm curious.
Well, you've always been kind of curious. Bi-curious.
Has there been a time since you've been tattooing and getting on with that side of your life? I know about a lot of music that you've been doing since then, but have you guys done stuff together since post Otis?
Music-wise?
Yeah, you and P.W.
So like I said, right now we're kind of in the midst of putting kind of some stuff together.
Because he told me the other day, he sent me this song, and he goes, "I think this would be a great theme song," and I'm really stoked about it, and I think it would be great for the podcast. And I was like, I listened to it, and I said yes, and then he texted me back, and he goes, "Well, Guy didn't say shit originally, and now he's telling me no, have to keep it for the band."
Okay, first of all,
I didn't realize that you guys were in a band together. And I guess you're not in a band together, but you're just like typing to songs, or what's going on here?
Boy.
First of all, Chris, he can't compliment me for anything. I give him this golden song, and I just want a little bone thrown at me. Nothing. Then I said, I gave that song to Chris. He goes, oh, no.
Okay, first of all, I don't go before I talk.
Yeah.
Okay. If I don't lavish him with all kinds of...
Lavish? Hey, that's a cool song. Is that lavish?
Oh my god, bro, you just fucking broke the fucking
Thank
sound
you.
barrier of
Thank
fucking
you.
music, man.
Better than Stairway.
Fucking Beethoven, fucking who? Paultoven.
Paultoven?
Yeah. If I don't basically ask him to fucking lick his, toe or whatever.
Boy, there's a big gap.
So he's
between
like,
that
oh,
and
you're
that.
fucking, I don't care.
So how's it working out now? What you have a music partnership or you do not?
It's
I would say we do.
tumultuous.
I don't know what tumultuous means, but yeah, we do.
It's tumultuous.
But you're not actively involved in Banger, right? You're not a member.
He won't even
think
come
so.
to a gig.
I haven't even seen him play once.
Yeah. That's how
Are they that terrible?
good of a friend.
I don't know.
Well, you better.
I don't know.
Yeah, he wouldn't know.
No, I actually I've heard Banger, and I think it's very, very good.
Banger's very infamous.
Are you
We're not famous. But
Are you
we're
enjoying
infamous.
yourself? Are you like the guys that you're playing with? Is it?
So I'm in a band with Bill Heston. Bill Heston was the first guy I've ever had a real gig. Mineshaft in '85.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
And so he was in Identity Crisis back then. Bill Heston, fucking salt of the earth.
I had a talk with him at your barbecue.
Fucking salt of the
Love
earth.
that guy.
Worst
Really,
luck in the fucking world. Worst luck in the world.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you
thought
look
you
like
said
concerned.
worst fuck.
No, I've never fucked Bill before.
What?
They tried to fuck me on a pack of cigarettes before, boys. Smoke every one of those things. But yeah, so it's been good. I just kind of slipped in as a rhythm guitar player. I just wanted to. They seem to be playing some cool gigs. I pulled a Joe Frolub. I just kind of slipped in there a little bit. Hey,
Down low.
I stole some of Joe's moves too. I told him that I stole them. The one you raise the guitar up here, you're like, oh, the mouth open. Whoa, bitches.
I don't know who that is.
Always thinking there's a photo op eventually.
Everything's a photo op with Joe. He's very oppish. But
Wait. We got to go back for a second because we skipped over the whole soul taco period of your life.
Oh.
yeah. Well, anyways, Banger, good, fun,
We'll come back to that.
good stuff.
I agree. The soul taco stuff. When did that start, and how did you because you were basically at the helm for that whole entire thing,
Right.
And you were the grand plan, man with the plan.
Yeah, so we had a 3-piece called Keyed. It was John and Ronnie. And that imploded for some reason. I don't even know. Probably because I have this 5-year thing with John John Rodriguez. Big John. I love Big John. But every 5 years
Was he the bass player or the?
He was a bass player back then.
Bass
Yeah.
player.
So every 5 years, I don't know, we seem to want to kill each other, and then we take a break and we get back together. So, but it's been decades, and so
Wasn't
that's
he was at your party, right?
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So those two started up this kind of jam band. It was like 7 motherfuckers in it. This guy named Ray Madonna from East Coast, and James that was in Fire Pie. Pine Jimmy and the Pine Box Boys. Was that
Pine Box Boys,
his new
yeah.
jam is? Is it Pine Box Boys?
Yep.
And so those two came out as buddies, and James plays trumpet, Ray played drums, and this big jam band. They didn't have a singer, and I used to go there, smoke weed with them, drink beer, whatever. And finally, after a couple months, I was like,
"This is all at the old Puss Cavern warehouse location,
right across
right?
from Joe and
North Highlands.
Yeah,
that little strip.
Yeah, the stinky little North Highland spot.
Oh yeah,
which was great. Some of the great. We all practiced there.
A lot of shit.
Greatest cake parties.
Great parties.
Yeah.
Yep.
Judd's Super 85 band, fucking $1 million.
Judd had
yeah. Cops wouldn't even come in that fucking place.
No.
But
there was like a bunch of Russian chop shops back in there.
Yeah, they're still there.
All kinds of shit.
But I just started writing lyrics and singing for them, so I kind of morphed into that band, and we had up to.
You became their figurehead, their leader.
Right. Yeah. After a while, those guys got the band together, and I just kind of slipped in. I guess I'm always slipping into something, and I just want to play. I just like to play. I don't give a fuck.
And you were guitar and lead vocals in that band, right?
Yeah, totally. So
and wrote most of the songs too, if I'm not.
At that point, I wrote lyrics to some material they had, but of course, after a while, their ideas kind of ran out, and I started writing songs. And
so what was the crest of that wave? I mean, how did that like?
How did that?
How high did it go, and how hard did it crash? Because I know my buddy Angelo, who I love dearly, was in that band too.
Don't ever call him a hypochondriac.
Never.
Don't fucking do it.
Never.
Because he'll slit your throat. Long and short was we went through probably 25 people if you want to really start counting them up. We had a keyboard player. Ray would show up with this chick, whoever he was dating at the time, and she would either be the manager or she would be he showed up with this girl, Tara, love Tara. She was playing the flute. Like, what the fuck do we need a flute player for? It's kind of like a rock Santana band or whatever. But Ray would be like, no, man, she's the new fucking manager and shit. We're like, what the fuck? So that went through a bunch of stuff, and then Vanessa filed through when there was a guy, Rocky was bass player, and Vanessa, which is Joe's wife, which Ray brought around, and that's a whole nother short story I'll tell you in a second. But again, ever evolving. So fast forward, we played a bunch of places. We played all over the place, and we ended up playing this hard rock thing and coming in second place, which was kind of skewed by some judges from Skips that their bands were playing. So there was a little
rigged,
a little bit of a thought that something might be skewed there.
Right.
So the thing that broke Soul Taco up is that we played at the Arco Arena one night. It was at the Sky Bar or whatever the fuck it was called. And you talk about having every cast member. So we had to play these 3 sets. Well, I had to figure out how we were going to do all this music. And it was weird because I had played with Joe Frolub and Keed, and we used to have all these songs. And then Billy Rainey, which is playing with, what's his name?
Angelo's old band, right?
No, this guy's guitar player right here.
Oh, he is? He's involved with that?
What's his name?
Brian Wheat?
No, that's Brian Wheat. Right there. The other guy. Guitar player. Here we go.
Can't scratch it. Frank Hannon?
Correct. So Billy plays with Frank Hannon.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know that?
Did not.
Billy's a man-child. His hair and stuff. Anyways, so I basically had to put 3 different bands together to play these 3 different sets. So Joe played a set, Billy played a set. Billy was brand new in the band at that point. He'd only done a handful of practices and such. Long story short is that Ray and Vanessa used to date, and they were kind of on the outs, and Vanessa had a little crush on Joe, and Joe and Vanessa disappeared down. He had seats at the Kings game or whatever, and Ray was not happy with this, so he was kind of by himself, and he found somebody that had seen us a million times before and bought him 8,500 shots of tequila. So by the time we got back, yes, exactly, we got back, he's fucking shit hammered as fuck. She's playing bass, he's behind the drums, and he's so mad that she's hanging out with Joe that he just wants to fucking jump out from that drum set and just choke a bitch, you know what I mean? And
choke the bitch or choke Joe?
I think he would choke anybody at that point. He was so mad. So he got to the point where he could not play drums. I kicked him off the drum set. I made Ronnie play drums. He's like, I can't play. I'm like, you better fucking play these songs. We're getting paid. Which was ironic because before we were in a big group, before we even got there, I said, let's not act a fool. This is a pretty good paying gig. type thing. Of course, that's the green light
That's
for
the
all hell
death
to
knell,
break loose.
yeah.
Right. So I kicked Ray off the drums, and Ronnie's in there playing, and next thing you know, there's kind of a crowd watching us, whatever. Well, there's fucking Ray, dead fucking center, looking at Vanessa. You fucking bitch. Oh, he's so fucking bad. Calling her every name in the book, and she's just trying to do her thing. He fucking pulls his dick out in the fucking bar and does that tongue out, suck it, bitch, yeah. And I went, oh my fuck. What the fuck is he doing, man? And at that point, that's when I decided I was going to kill him. I'm going to fucking... And mind you, I was the only one that's sober out of all this. My brother was there. Everybody's fucking hammered. Everybody's hammered. Maybe not. Maybe a couple people. Anyways, for the most of them were hammered. Especially Ray. So I'm like, as soon as the set's over, I'm going to fucking kill him right here in the bar. I'm going to choke him out. I'm going to beat him to death. I'm so fucking mad at him right now. Set ended. Everybody made a beeline to me, and he fucking he ditched out on the service elevator down the bottom. And I was like, no. I want to kill him now. Don't try to stop me. And I went down the service elevator, and my buddy, the Reverend, was like, just calm down. It's going to be okay. You know, I was like, okay, fuck it. All right, whatever. It's whatever. We're past the gig. We got our money, whatever. Well, I didn't know fucking Ray's out there in his car, drunk as fuck, in the Focus in the Arca Arena, doing donuts. Like fucking Captain Caveman or something like that. Almost runs us over. Almost kills my ex-wife going down that player's interest thing, like rammed in the back of her.
Wow.
And we all get back to the practice room, and he won't leave me alone. I said, just give me some time, get the fuck away from me. And I ended up just punching him out, and that kind of ended the band that night. Billy got lost on the way home.
Punches usually kill a lot of bands.
He looked like Leon Spinks. He's all bloody and shit. He's like, still talking shit. And I won't get into all that. But, so Billy shows up after all the whole melee, and he's bloody and all this kind of stuff. And Billy says, so practice tomorrow? Like, no, there's nothing. There's no band. It's over. So that was the end of Soul Talk.
That was the end?
Yeah.
That was like the final blow? No pun intended.
Well, no. We did a couple more gigs, and then I got in a fight with Adam, and then I refused to jam with him at that point. After that gig, it was just all downhill from there, and it was too much. It was too many people, too many egos, too many divas. But that's when Bill and Angelo were in there, and that was actually the best Soul Taco there was, because Angelo and Bill are amazing musicians.
Angelo's amazing bass player.
Yeah, he's fucking amazing.
Great musician.
Bill is equal.
Yeah.
Bill is equal to that, and I think they are equal in the fact that they both think that they're not that great. You know?
Oh, Angelo's very humble. That's what I love about him so much.
And Billy is his equal like that.
Yeah, I love the humble, like, geniuses.
I would say Angelo's more neurotic than.
Was Angelo at the party the other day?
Yeah, he's the one that molests my wife every time he got a new girlfriend, so I was like, it's on.
Bring her around.
You know, now that I think about it, we did have a pretty good long thing. After that, I guess that's the truth. Once the Kings gig imploded, then that's when the Concreted, like the best of, kind of got the better musicians and like that type of thing.
Everybody escalated.
Yeah.
So where'd you go right after Soul Taco? Did you lay low for a while, or did you jump into something right away?
I don't even remember. Soul Taco lasted for so long.
What were you doing the whole time during Soul Taco? Was that still down in the wormhole?
Yeah, down the wormhole. Were you jamming with Rob Monroe after that?
Oh, okay.
Tony?
So with Soul Taco, I started jamming with Paulie from every metal band in town.
Right.
And old Rob from back in the punk rock days, and this guy Chuck. And who did I just forget? It was the four
Tony.
of us. Oh, and Tony. Tony Mills.
T. Mills.
T. Mills. And that was a train wreck. That was just all of it. And that's when we recorded with Jack.
And are you in your tattooing phase at this point? Are you doing that at the same time?
So, yeah, at that point, my last chefing gig was kind of coming to an end. I've been fired from 2 jobs, and that was one of the jobs I got fired from. But I've been tattooing before that, and that was just a good transition time. And so, yeah, I honestly let music go for maybe a year, which is probably the biggest gap that I've ever had from music. And I just wanted to. So we lived on Hazel. I remember the parties we used to have.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really got the fire back under my ass, because, you know, we'd have that fucking garage full of every instrument you have.
Yep.
And you know, all my friends were still.
I think I remember jamming in there one time.
Oh yeah. All my friends were still musicians. So it was like, well, we're having a party. Don't fucking bring some booze, and fucking every, you know, instrument you wanted. So we had some great jams.
I remember one party you had was a great house party. It was one of the better ones I've ever been to.
Yeah, well, just, I mean...
You were chefing up and doing some really legit skirt steaks, I believe, and like, that was a good time.
Well, for a while there, they would find any excuse to have a party. If you're having a fucking birthday or, you know, any one of the old timers, it was party. And those girls would just... Party was going strong until I impregnated my wife, and the party was over. Fucking game over. So,
all right, let's tie this back together though. You guys reconnect when? Like
1784.
It was the Declaration of Independence.
2000.
Well, it was definitely when he started coming. He made the bold. It was kind of like he didn't want to hang out because he didn't know if he'd get fallen back into old habits. I think, right? That's the.
I'm never worried about you with the drugs.
Yeah.
If I hang out with him, it's pretty much no tweakers.
But it was the shop back then, and it's been kind of back to like I say, just started right back up. So, and as you well know, he is, you know, there at the shop with me. He's my desk guy.
Yeah.
He's the.
I mean, I consider him like one of the world's most unknown geniuses when it comes to songwriting, lyric writing. By far one of the best frontmen that I've ever seen front a band. I've seen you do some silly shit on stage, and I won't do it because guys told me it would be bad for business. But
which is funny because, you know, he's had a limited time on stage, but
every time I've seen him, it's just been completely like he takes over. Like the minute that P.W walks out on stage, people go shitty crazy. Like you have a real magneticism to your.
Is he fucking with me?
No, I'm not at
Are you
all.
being serious?
I'm being sincere as I can be.
He, you know, he's always had this weird thing where he's got like a cult-like following.
Exactly.
Not myself, because I feel pity on him, so I like to. You know, here you go, boy. Here you go.
Now the people that know, and
people that know really love him for all those reasons.
Completely bulldozes when he comes out. Just like grabs that mic with the most confidence I've ever seen of any person. Basically, I mean, the only person I've seen be as confident as you, which probably seems antithetic to the way you probably feel about yourself. But when you get on stage and you grab a microphone and you start barking at people and start shouting orders, it's like they just fall in lockstep, and it's just like everybody's about watching this guy that's just like completely intense. The only person I've ever seen do it kind of that way is I got to give credit to Kenny Beasley, or not Beasley. I'm sorry, Kenny McCrell.
Yeah.
Beasley, I love you too. You're very magnetic. Don't let the smooth taste fool you.
Don't unmagnetize.
Kenny McCrell, R.I.P. And that's one of the reasons why I loved being in a band with Khalil, is because Khalil is such a natural in front of people.
He's so fucking animated. You can't keep
so
your eyes
animated,
off him.
and like whether you like his vocals or you don't like his vocals, you can't help but watch him just because
you can't help but be mesmerized by that fucking insane look on his face, like he's maybe gonna fuck you or stab you.
He might kill you, yeah.
Maybe kiss you. I don't know. You know,
I've never known. I've been sucker punched by him before at band practice for no reason I saw coming.
Yeah.
You know, just like all of a sudden,
You know what?
just like blow to the gut.
I really enjoyed my short time in a band with him and Don. That was a very good.
Was that BFE?
So basically, that was the second version, and I think it ultimately morphed into your guys' band. But yeah, I mean, great. I don't know. He's just kind of a natural talent, that guy.
He's just got that quality of you put him in front of people and people respond, and that's you, P.W. Always has been. When was the last time you jumped up and enjoyed being in front of a crowd?
Remember that night you're talking about?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Fuck. With Otis.
He's never...
It's been that long?
He's never liked doing crowd shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like the...
That's like a guy that can build, like, really good houses and doesn't like building.
Right,
Well, it's like the Muscle Shoals thing. You know, you listen to those guys and it's like, do I look like a fucking rock star? Not that you don't look like a rock star, because you clearly do.
I'd agree.
Very sexy.
Thank you.
Very sexual. That's what you should have done to Mrs. Garrett. But, you know, to their admission, they didn't have any desire to be in front of the stage. They just loved music.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where you're at, right? I mean, doesn't get much deeper than just wanting to be...
So for you, you're more like a behind-the-scenes guy that you just like creating. You don't necessarily need the gratification to be out in front of people and
exactly
and get pats on the back and told that you're loved or anything like that.
He needs the pats on the back.
I need pats on backs.
But he needs it like that song you're talking about that he...
I would rather have it go on a podcast that's going to be around forever.
I would like that song.
Well, first of all, he writes 7,000 songs, so there's lots more to choose from. But I've been trying to cherry pick for what a certain genre that we're doing. I use a certain voice in these songs, so I'm trying to kind of cherry pick one of them. Like he has 7,000 of these songs.
I have a catalog.
So basically, what we've been doing is he'll write the song, I'll nitpick it and offend him. And then try to suggest stuff. He gets very offended right off the bat. But then after it, he changes it and goes, yeah, that was a good idea. You're the man.
So you guys have never made a connecting point musically since then? Aside from you cherry picking his songs and...
We never did before. It was his songs or my songs. You know, it never... as close as we are, we're very, what do you call it, like close to the chest on the way we want our songs to be.
So you're kind of like the invisible member of the band, or how would you characterize it?
No, I think we're both invisible as far as this project.
I am the dude in Wham that isn't Michael, what's his name?
George Michael?
Yeah. Isn't that the sports guy?
He's the guy with the guitar that doesn't speak.
I think he's dead now.
Really?
I'm Oates.
Oh, Andrew something. He's Oates.
I'm Oates. Paul and Oates.
Paul and Oates.
So like, you know.
So what's up with Banger now? What are you guys? What's your goals? Where are you guys going? You got recordings coming out or anything?
Already recorded with Joe down at the Puss Cavern.
Dude, these dudes play shows every fucking weekend. Just
oh yeah,
ridiculous.
I can't finish this without asking you. You guys played San Quentin Prison like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know of any other bands that could put that on their credentials.
Since last week.
Yeah.
And how was that? What was that like?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what to think going into it. Our bass player Zoran, Capital Chaos TV Zoran, or now his new name is Naked Zoran, which he tortured us that afternoon by being naked as much as he possibly could.
Really?
Banger pool party, went bad. It was all bad. Unless you're him, then it probably went good. But at the end of the day, I think we were all in good spirits and went up there. He's got a friend that works in the prison, and she has a coworker that organizes bands to come to the prison. Mm-hmm. And we went up there, and it was kind of seamless, really. Everybody was...
I mean, what was the experience like? You had to go through like pat down, and did they make you like do the whole cavity search and all that before you came in there?
I hesitate to say that, because not to make this prison sound unsafe or something, but no, they didn't pat us down. They didn't go through a fucking metal detector.
What?
We didn't do any of that shit.
Wow.
I don't know what their reasoning for was behind that. I know we had to do like background checks and shit like that, so we were already kind of pre-screened. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we got there, IDs, we went through a couple of cages, we hopped on a flatbed truck.
Was it just you guys?
So it was playing that day?
Yeah.
So there was there was another band, a rockabilly band. I can't remember the name of them right now, but really cute little girl that has little voice like this, and it almost sounded like super old country. They were super dope. Seemed like really good musicians. So it was us and them, and then it was the San Quentin House Band. and it's kind of what you'd imagine from a movie or something like that. You know,
Really?
you got old Joe on the back, and he's about fucking 70 years old, and he's just kind of working away at the
Like some
drums.
Cool Hand Luke shit.
Yeah, all tatted the fuck up, and so yeah, we went through the thing. They didn't really frisk us. We got in the back of this flatbed truck, and we rode in the flatbed with all our equipment down to like the lower yard, and just like you would imagine, like a football field full of shitload of inmates working out, just like the movies, you know.
Yeah.
And at first it was weird. Kind of felt like everybody was staring at you, but we got up there, and everybody was super cool. There was no attitudes, which I found to be really awesome. Everybody was really glad that we were there, kind of grateful, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like the vibe was one of gratefulness. We had a great show.
What was the response like in between songs? Were they like cheering
You know what,
for
let me
you,
tell
or
you
were
something.
they
This is
quiet, or?
Yeah, this is the most fucked up thing. I probably got the best response at fucking San Quentin Prison than I did with these, you know,
Really?
shows out here. You know, everybody's all,
Starved.
if you're not with their band, they're like, oh, okay. Well, that's not true, but anyways, it was a really good. But you looked out in the crowd, and they were tapping their toes, and they were doing that kind of stuff, and they were really into it. We're a little harder band, so they appreciated. Apparently, they have a lot of rap acts that go there.
Uh-huh.
So we did that, and Bill got to play a full-on rock star guitar solo in the middle of the show.
Sweet.
Yeah, so, and Bill's kind of like that. Bill's kind of like a biker guy, and so he was really vibing with everybody.
What's with this cane? Did he have a bike accident or something?
No, he wasn't very exciting. He's an old ass man trying to do a young ass man's job, and broke his heel in 2,500 places. But he's a tough son of a bitch, and he's walking back on it. And he played the whole gig. We had 2 gigs that day, and he walked the whole time.
2 gigs the day of Quentin?
So we went Quentin in the morning. We went over to our drummer's house, do like a little barbecue pool thing. That's where the Naked Zorn thing happened.
All right.
And then that night over at this VFW hall with a bunch of younger kids that night, and that was really cool. But we were burnt the fuck out. Everybody was sunburnt to a crisp.
Was the Quentin gig was outside, or was it in a hall?
So it was in the yard, supposedly where Metallica had played.
Oh, they did one too, right?
Right. So there was a stage out there, great PA system, something like that. Apparently, Queens of the Stone Age actually played in the chapel at San Quentin as well.
No kidding.
So it was a great experience. It was a great experience. When we left, everybody was waving at us and thanking us, and generally made us feel like $1 million for going.
That's awesome.
And taking time. We did it for free. We did it. I don't even know why the fuck we did it, to be honest with you.
You know,
Cash did
to me, if somebody asked me, do I want to play San Quentin Prison?
Yeah.
If I had a good band, I'd say,
Fuck
yeah.
I mean, that would
sign
be
me up.
a great question to ask anybody. At first I was thinking, why the fuck would I want to go there?
Yeah. I mean,
and then, one of the things I ask you is like, you have to acknowledge that they don't take hostages. So if something happens in the yard, that's it, bro.
Yeah.
They're going to get out when they fucking let you out.
you're one of theirs.
Yeah. Which I'm thinking, I'm a tattoo artist. I'm going straight for that. Free tats.
Yeah.
No cigarettes or whatever. Top bra. I don't give
I
a
got
fuck.
no bubble gum, but I'll give you some free
Y'all don't
tats.
fucking kill me. I'm tatting you guys up, So the rest of them, I thought they were pretty much dead,
Wow. That's a really cool story.
at an angle.
So that's been the most recent gig, right?
So that was the most recent gig,
And now Banger, did you guys put out a CD, or are you putting one out, or
we have something on Bandcamp. It's Banger.
just doing all online
Banger
stuff?
Sac, Bandcamp. CDs are kind of dead. I bought a
They
car.
are.
It didn't have a CD player in it.
Polly gave me one at your party, and I came home and I realized I don't even have
Don't
a
have a CD player.
working CD player.
Yeah, he did the same to me, and I just said I just listen to you on Spotify. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I felt bad taking his merch because I should have known that before I even took it. But
Well, you're a bad person.
I know I'm a terrible person.
You have one in your car, don't you?
No, I don't.
No? Fuck.
Modern cars.
I
do
can
not have-
Bluetooth to my
Yeah.
Amazon Music from my phone, and
Right.
I just roll that way. I don't.
It's a new day and age.
I look at this whole 2 bookcases full in my garage of CDs that maybe 80% of them don't even play anymore, and I think to myself, I paid probably premium dollar when I bought it, and if you just do the math, it's like $30,000 probably worth of CDs.
Well, I'm
that are
kicking
in there.
myself for not going down to Dimple last year and offloading all of them for $25 because now they're worth 25 cents.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, it's terrible. But, they promised us a medium that was going to be invincible, and then we all bought into it, and now what?
Well, that's what they always do.
And now music's not worth much to many people. How do you feel about that? That people don't want to pay for music anymore. They just want it all.
It's where we're at, man.
Does it?
It's where we're at.
Does it phase you at all? Or
I mean, did musicians? You look at all these old stories of musicians. Did they get fucking paid? Sounds like they got ripped off the whole time. Didn't sound like they were making much. A
lot of them signed really bad contracts, for sure.
But it doesn't sound like anybody's ever made any money off of music. Not the musicians, you know. It sounds like all the everybody but category made. Right. So maybe things haven't changed a bit for musicians, you know.
That could be true.
And it's all about. I guess it's all about getting, you know, merchandise out there. I don't care about merchandise. I like to play in front of people. I don't necessarily. I got a job, you know.
Right.
Kind of past that type thing, but I still enjoy playing in front of people. It's still the same dumb rush that it used to be.
As do I. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
So is there anything going on musically for you aside from just holding up in your spot and creating badass stuff that people need to hear?
No.
That's just your comfort zone?
I'm just willing to, yeah.
I think we'll be putting some stuff up on Bandcamp and stuff like that. But
it'll be happening soon.
I think between the two of us, who knows? I have this mix thing that I'm always slave to. I don't think it's a good mix, and then we're like dramatically the opposite. I have two or three songs I've been working on for days that I just can't seem to complete.
I wrote 2 or 3 songs like during this interview.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And he has, you know, that type of thing. So
you got your own tattoo shop now.
Yeah, Lucky Buddha Tattoos.
Lucky Buddha Tattoo.
San Juan Avenue.
Give the address for folks, or give the website for folks.
5421.
5421 San Juan Avenue. We got a couple of really cool guys working there. Mr. Cisco Rodriguez, Mr. RJ Mohammed.
I'm glad Cisco's back.
Yeah.
That's a good group of dudes to have.
I got the band back together. Well, it was kind of cool because, you know, Cisco and I worked at your DJ spot together. And then Cisco and RJ, Ruben worked at down the street. And we just kind of all came full circle. And yeah, we're just a perfect little happy fucking family.
Here we are.
As long as nobody pisses off P.W.
Yeah, don't piss me off.
Yeah.
You got the door guy to get through before you can see the magic happen.
That's right.
Oh, I make it happen, baby.
What are you? Are you the sizzle?
I'm the sizzle.
He's the sizzle.
All right, so if you want to get tattooed, I strongly suggest going to Guy Jones at Lucky Buddha Tattoo. If you want to hear Banger, I suggest you go to
Bandcamp, Banger Sac, yeah.
Bandcamp, Banger Sac.
We're opening up for Michael Graves from the Misfits here pretty soon too. I don't know the date exactly, but it's at Holy Diver.
Good show.
Which should be, I think, that'll be our next kind of big show.
Did I miss anything? You guys feel good?
No, I'd really like to thank you for having us coming out. And your lovely ladies for coming out.
Harlow, you want to say hi?
Hi.
You want to say hi to the people?
We got Miss Harlow out here. That
come over to the microphone. Say hi.
Dragged into the session. And Miss Lisa.
Say Sac Deep Podcast.
Sac Deep Podcast.
All right, that's where we're putting it. It's going to be available hopefully soon. And I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to come out here and just shoot the shit. And you're still my favorite dudes. So thank you again. This is Sac Deep with Chris Koskela. And we are going to call this a day. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Man with no plans, flying by the seat of his pants, with assless chaps and wind sprints and power squats, going sack deep for the high dive. How you all doing? Oh, I don't know. Let's find out and start the show.